contact, any letter contact, any email contact. We didn't even know that there was an ongoing investigation because the charges had been unfounded twice already. We didn't know while we slept they were sneaking and creeping in Chicago to find fault in what our boys had done to bring the nation together. What kind of animals are they? No notification. The first person who they notified, to our knowledge, was ESPN, who they have a current contract with. So ESPN leaked it out to all of the other media news facets because Little League has an existing partnership with ESPN who televised all of the games. So they let ESPN know first. Vanessa Green.
Excuse me.
In the African American community, in the words of Maya Angelou, when we learn, we teach. I had no doubt that my community would be here to support this injustice that has happened to 13-year-old African American children in the city of Chicago. So I'm not shocked by my people being here in support of their children.
Yeah. Come on with it, man.
That's the mom for you. Yes, yes.
An injustice anywhere, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is a threat to injustice everywhere. And so I want Brandon to know that when an injustice is done, it doesn't just impact you, it impacts an entire nation. And that's why we will continue to fight.
Friends, we can't have a press conference and a rally at the same time. We really be real quiet because they have to hear these questions to give some right answer. If you would just bear with us, we could have it down. So I want y'all to see this, how this process works, okay? One concern is the reason why when the U.S. went to China in the Olympics, they won the game, and there was no complaints about Chinese because the courts were the same size, with the same height, the rim, the floor. But the rules are different according to different countries. So one country uses its national all-star team as the team. Another, its neighborhood as the team. So that must be unveiled and dealt with now, because in the future we must deal with one set of rules. Second, we must freeze this memory with the statute.
Yes.
Beyond that, we want these kids to go on to college, and we want them to be able to perform. Some of the parents were not homeless, but almost so. We got people who live in country club hills, too, to a family, one part family paying for taxes, one part paying for mortgage. We're scattered. If this was a case of a boy 14 or 15 playing beyond his age group, of parents manipulating birth certificates, that would be a crime. But there's been no charge against the children, except to pay the burden of somebody else's error or somebody else's challenge. Yes, ma'am. We want letters of support as we seek to meet with them, to appeal to them, to restore the crown, and not try to destroy what they've earned retroactively. When Jonathan read the rules said something about if you're near your school. Their schools are closed. We don't have contiguous boundaries between Roseland and Inglewood. We live in a mess out here. And so the point is, and the guy who made the Charlie Evergreen, the lady came on TV and said he had been recruiting kids to play in Evergreen who don't live in Evergreen. So it kind of sounds like sour grapes. But quite apart from that is that if there must be some adjustment made, it should not go back to 12-year-olds. Yes, ma'am.
We will follow our leaders as to what the next step is. We will follow Attorney Henderson's advice. We will follow the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Father Flager, whatever it is that they will have us to do to unite as a community, to continue to fight until the boys have had their dignity restored and a championship returned back to them that does not belong to anyone else but them, because they earned it. The entire nation saw them earn it.
I would say as we close this, we have we spent a lot of time between Alabama the next few days. I know this is another subject, but while I got you, Alabama got $120 million from the Department of Education for schools. They spent it on prisons. That's misappropriation. Don't forget. The second point is what we're going to Selma. The Selma rule was overturned in Shelby in June 25th, 2013. So Selma, we are hyped about Selma because it's 50 years later and we walked across the bridge. But the problem is not any longer Selma, it is Shelby. It is gutted the bill so that you have the radical stacking of districts which leads to resegregation. And Clarence Thomas said not only should Section 4 be removed, but Section 5 should be removed as well, which is back to 1896. It's a radically right-wing court. And this is just another expression of the injustice that we're facing during this season. Last one, I really have to go. Yes, sir.
If there is a lesson that you hope that would be learned out of all of this, what would you say that lesson would be?
You don't have to be guilty to be crucified. It's easy to die. Let us stand.
Oh, man.
Everybody say amen.